G'day, mates! Let's have a good yarn about one of the most incredible animals on this planet, the saltwater crocodile. You might know them as salties and crikey. Are they impressive? These fellas are the largest living reptiles in the world, a true living dinosaur that has been around for millions of years. They are powerful, they are ancient, and they are absolutely fascinating. You can find these magnificent creatures in the warm, watery parts of northern Australia, Southeast Asia, and the eastern coast of India. They love hanging out in rivers, estuaries, swamps, and even the open sea, which is how they got their name. They are perfectly built for their environment, with a strong tail for swimming and powerful jaws for catching a feed. When you see a salty, you are looking at a true survivor. These animals have not changed much since the time of the dinosaurs, and that is because they are perfectly adapted to their world. They are the top predator wherever they live, which means they are at the very top of the food chain. A big male salty can grow to be over 6 meters long and weigh more than 1,000 kilograms. That is heavier than a small car, can you believe it? They have the strongest bite of any animal in the world, a true testament to their power. But they are not just about brute strength, they are also incredibly clever and patient hunters, often waiting for hours for the right moment to strike. They are a true icon of the wild. Many people think of crocodiles as scary monsters, and while you have to be incredibly careful and croc-wise in their territory, there is so much more to them than that. They are actually very caring parents. The mother croc builds a nest for her eggs out of plants and mud. She guards this nest fiercely against any predators that might want to steal her precious babies. When the little ones hatch, she gently picks them up in her massive jaws and carries them to the water. She will even stay with them for several months, protecting them until they are big enough to look after themselves. It is a beautiful thing to see such a powerful animal show such a gentle and protective side. Understanding where these animals come from and how they live is the first step to respecting them. They are not mindless eating machines. They are complex creatures with important family structures and a vital role in their habitat. They have been a part of these ecosystems for a very, very long time, long before people were around. They have shaped the rivers and wetlands they call home, learning about their life, from their size and strength to their surprising gentleness as mothers, helps us see them not as monsters, but as the magnificent and vital animals they truly are. It is our job to make sure they are around for generations to come, and that starts with a bit of knowledge and a whole lot of respect. Now, you might be wondering why an animal that is so big and powerful needs our protection. Well, believe it or not, there was a time when our salties were in big trouble. Back in the day, from the 1940s to the 1970s, people hunted them without any rules. They were hunted for their skin, which was used to make expensive bags, belts, and shoes. This hunting was so intense that the number of saltwater crocodiles dropped dangerously low. They were disappearing from the rivers and swamps where they had lived for millions of years. We almost lost them forever, and that would have been a massive tragedy for Australia and for the world. Thankfully, people realized what a terrible mistake this was. The government stepped in and did something truly wonderful. In 1971, they put saltwater crocodiles on a protected species list. This means it became illegal to hunt or harm them in any way. This protection was a part of a larger plan called a Conservation Act, which is a special set of rules designed to save animals and their homes from disappearing. This law gave the crocodiles a fighting chance to make a comeback. It was a lifeline for them, a promise from us that we would help them survive. It was one of the most important decisions ever made for Australian wildlife. The protection worked. Slowly but surely, the saltwater crocodile population began to grow again. It took a lot of time and effort, but today, their numbers are much healthier. This is a massive success story for conservation. It shows that when we decide to protect a species, we can make a real difference. The laws are there to make sure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. They ensure that the crocodile population stays stable and healthy, so they can continue to play their important part in the environment. Protecting them is not just about saving one animal, it is about keeping the whole natural system in balance. So the government and conservation laws are like a full-time bodyguard for the saltwater crocodile. These rules are not just suggestions, they are serious laws that everyone must follow. They exist because we recognize that these animals are valuable and that we have a responsibility to look after them. The protection ensures that future generations of people can see these amazing ancient reptiles in the wild, right where they belong. It is a promise that we will share the landscape with them and respect their right to exist, keeping them safe from harm so they can thrive for another million years. It is a brilliant example of people working to keep the wild wild. Saltwater crocodiles are more than just big reptiles. They are what we call a keystone species. Think of a stone archway. If you pull out the main stone at the top, the keystone, the whole arch will fall down. That is exactly what a salty is to its environment. As the top predator, they play a super important role in keeping the entire ecosystem healthy and balanced. They control the populations of other animals, like fish, birds, and even feral pests like pigs. By doing this, they make sure that no single species becomes too numerous and eats all the food or destroys the habitat. They are like the managers of the river. Let's imagine for a moment what would happen if the crocodiles were gone. Without the big boss around, things would get out of whack pretty quickly. For example, some types of fish like barramundi might have their populations explode. This might sound good at first, but soon they would eat up all the smaller fish and plants. Then, with nothing left to eat, their own numbers would crash. This creates a domino effect that harms many other species that rely on the river. Crocodiles help prevent this boom and bust cycle. They keep the system stable, ensuring there is a healthy variety of life in the waterways for everyone. Crocodiles are also the cleanup crew of the wetlands. They are not fussy eaters and will often scavenge on dead animals they find in the water. This might sound a bit gross, but it is an incredibly important job. By eating carcasses, they help to clean the water and prevent the spread of diseases. This keeps the water quality high, which is vital for all the other animals and plants that live there, and even for people who rely on those rivers. They are nature's best recyclers, turning waste into energy and keeping their homes sparkling clean. Without them, our beautiful waterways would become much sicker places. So, you see, a healthy river needs its crocodiles. They are not just living there, they are actively shaping and maintaining their environment every single day. They create deeper channels by moving around, which can provide refuge for fish during the dry season. Their old nests, once abandoned, break down and provide rich nutrients for the soil, helping plants grow. Every single thing they do, from hunting to nesting to just swimming around, has a positive impact on their world. Protecting them is not just about the crocs themselves, it is about protecting the health and beauty of our entire northern wetlands. They are true Aussie legends. Because saltwater crocodiles are so important, the laws to protect them are extremely serious. It is not just a little slap on the wrist if you break them. Harming or killing a saltwater crocodile is a major crime, and the punishments are very severe. The law says that you cannot hunt, catch, or interfere with them in any way without a special permit, which is almost never given to the general public. These laws are in place under national and state conservation acts, and they are enforced very strictly. The government wants to send a clear message. Do not mess with our crocs. It is our duty to leave them alone and let them live their wild lives. If someone decides to break this law and kills a crocodile, they are facing massive trouble. The legal consequences can include huge fines, with some penalties reaching into the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is enough money to buy a house. But it doesn't stop there. In the most serious cases, a person could even face jail time. This is not a risk worth taking. The courts and wildlife authorities take these offenses very seriously because they understand the damage that losing even one of these animals can do to the ecosystem and the overall population. The message is simple. Crocodiles are protected by the law, and the law has a very big bite. These strong punishments are there for a good reason. They act as a deterrent, making people think twice before they do something stupid or cruel. They also help wildlife officers do their job of protecting these animals. When people know the consequences are severe, they are more likely to report illegal activity and help catch those who break the law. It is about creating a culture where everyone understands the value of these animals and the importance of the rules that keep them safe. The law is a powerful tool that helps us fulfill our promise to protect our unique and wonderful wildlife for the future. So, the best thing we can all do is to show these magnificent animals the respect they deserve. When you are in croc country, be croc wise. Read the warning signs, never swim in places you are not supposed to, and never feed them or leave food scraps lying around. By being smart and responsible, you keep yourself safe and you help keep the crocodiles wild. Let's all work together to obey the law and protect these incredible survivors. They are a vital part of what makes Australia so special. Beauty, mate. Let's look after them.